night's red eyes, a haunting guise. In the stillness, I feel the chill, a spectral presence, a silent thrill, eerie whispers in the breeze. Night's red eyes, they never cease. Night's red eyes, piercing through the haze, watching all in their mysterious ways. In the depths of night, where darkness lies, beware the gaze of night's red eyes.
Hey guys, this is Spark Plus Ultra here, and this is part 6 on what if Deku had Werehog powers. I'm the Wind of the Night, and I hope you like this video and hope you subscribe. Deku and all of his friends, Tetsuo, and Chaco and Mei Hatsume were basically helping each other out on the second round. But things didn't go as planned. But luckily enough, Zuki's intuition on getting some headbands from other players just snuck them into third place because Shoto took the 1000 headband, and when the game was over, Zuki then thinks, damn it, Ida literally tricked us, and I'm usually the fast one here. What the hell? He gets absolutely annoyed out of that. And Achako says, Ida, you kept it a secret from us. And Ida says, yes, I am sorry about that, but I had to do it at all means to win. Then Midnight explains the last round, and showing the board of who's gonna battle each other to become the winner. And starting off is, well, kind of the same as in canon, just with a few X, but starting up is Deku versus Shinzo. And then all the rounds are, well, in canon to how it is in My Hero Academia in the tournament round. And then Ojiro tells Deku to be aware of Shinzo on what happened when he didn't even know what happened, but he knows most definitely it was his card. And Deku says, alright, I'll be careful. And Ojiro gives one very big advice. Don't talk to him. And Deku takes it to heart on that. And Deku then stretches his arm. Damn! Wasn't expecting Shoto to frickin' put his fire at my hairs. And seeing his fur to be burnt in the round, Deku gets a little pissed off. But when Deku was getting ready for his match, he was looking at Achako. Yeah, Achako says, oh, hey Deku, how's it going? Then Deku looks at Achako and takes a breath. You don't always need to put everything onto yourself, you know. And Chaka says, oh, don't worry about me. I won't do that. And Deku says, you know, I'm part werewolf, right? I may be a werehog, a hedgehog, but I do have an animal keen instinct. And I know you're lying. And Chaka says, with no words to say, Deku says, you should always have someone ask to help you out sometimes. You can't hold all the weight to yourself. If you do, then I'll lean my shoulders onto you. And Chaka was surprised to hear what Deku says. And Chaka says, are you really gonna win? And Deku puts his finger up and says, don't underestimate me, showing his finger swaying back and forth around his face and saying, because I'm the Wind of the Night, and I'll howl until I win that for the right way. And Chaco says, alright, I'll be rooting for you. And Suki says, same here, and stretches his arm and shakes her hand and says, don't go back on your promise. And Zuki says, no problem. And Suki walks towards the arena, and he sees Shinzo, and Suki then thinks to himself, no matter how hard I'll hold every weight, even in my home country, Greece, I will hold a dream to anyone that needs help. No matter if it's the day or night, I'll be the one that calls, even if it's the biggest one that is one for all. Zuki puts his hand onto his chest and says, I'll make sure I'll smash my way through. And he gets ready to face off against Shinzo. Suki then looks at Shinzo with a careful look. Suki then looks what he's doing. He doesn't know what his quirk is. Doesn't know at all. So he's very cautious. His instincts are telling him beware as well. Oh girl was right. Well, I'll be careful with what I say, he thinks to himself. Then Shinzo says, my, this is interesting, isn't it? And Zuki was confused on what he's saying. With a look out, what? And then Shinzo says, isn't it very different to what you're used to in Greece? I heard from people that you come from a different country. So you're from the, how can I say, from the west? And Suki was being quiet, not answering it. And Shinzo says, to be thought, I thought we would have a good chat. And Zuki was confused. Chat? Thinks to himself, what is he up to? He thinks to himself. And Shinzo says, you see, people say I'm a villain for some reason, that I have a very specific quirk. And Zuki was interested on what he's saying, but doesn't want to talk. And Shinzo looks at him and thinks, how am I gonna get him to talk? Doesn't look like he's gonna talk about that. He sighs. And then, my, your quirk is interesting. How does it work? Zuki was thinking, now he's talking about my quirk. Thinks to himself. Then Zuki then doesn't put a stance. He then looks at him with confusion and trying to think on what his quirk is gonna work. His instincts are telling him to be aware, and Ojo then was right about him not beware of talking. Then Shinzo thinks, he's trying to figure it out. I need to get him to talk. My, those guys were easily dispatchable. Shinzo then mockingly says it, and Zuki then got ticked on what he said. And then Shinzo says, it's working. My, that Ojiro guy was even much of a pushover than he was. And Zuki got annoyed on what he said. Then Shinzo says, man, you really are that brainless. Can't a wear much really touch or be that useful? And Suki then looks at him with a look of, really? He really is trying to make me talk that badly. You know, he's doing really well to make me pissed off. But Suki then figured it out. And then Zuki de-transforms into his human form without even needing his Werehog form. And then Shinzo says, what? Why is he doing that? And then Zuki looks at him and sighs. And gives a look of, now I know what you're up to now. And Shinzo then looks at a very shocked state and then says, man, you really are a loser. You really need to put some really big over-notch cockiness, aren't you? maybe you should turn in that Werehog state. Or are you too cowardly? And Suku sighs and doesn't give a look of pity or anything like that. He gives a look of not bad, but it won't work. The taunts don't work on me. That's the look he's saying. And then Shinzo, when Suku gets close, nearing to his face, Shinzo goes for a punch, but Suku, with his speed, Suku dodges and then grabs his arm and says, now I know. And Suku then slams onto the ground. And that was before Shinzo realized that his quirk didn't affect him quickly enough and was knocked out by that slam. And Suku says, your quirk allows you to, well, if somebody talks to you, they'll become tranced or frozen. Am I wrong? And then Midnight says, Zuku Midoriya wins! And then Suku grabs Shinzo and then pulls him back up and saying, sorry about that, I didn't mean to do it that hard. And Shinzo says, you have some strength, even in your human state, don't you? And Suku says, people underestimate me on that, but I'm much stronger than you might think, even when I'm with my Werehog state. I'm pretty powerful. And then Shinzo says, well, I was going to prove people that my quirk can be very useful. And Suki says, huh? Well, you may be pissed off at ya. You're pretty clever. But I think your quirk really needs more, well, training. And then all the heroes were talking about that and are interested in Shinzo's quirk. Shinzo walks away and smiles and says, hey Suku, don't give up or you might be in the dust, alright? Do not give up, alright? And Suku says, no problem. And Suku was in the hypnotic state and Shinzo was basically messing with Zuku when he used his quirk on him. Then the next fight. Then Zuku and all of them see Sero, and his matchup is Todoroki. And yeah, Todoroki just beats him without even trying, making a huge glacier out near to the stadium ring. And Suki thinks to himself, dang, now that's just making a huge glacier out of it. Ugh. Then Suki, next batch is with Todoroki, and Suki says, alright. Suki then does some shadow boxing, and Suki then looks at his position, and he thinks every time in that situation, if he gets into that glacier, all his work will not do well. And Suku then takes a deep breath and says, I'll make sure of that. And Suku thinks to himself, I have to. Beat me the second time on the second round, but he won't beat me this time. But then Zuko, when walking, meets Endeavor, and Endeavor tells him to force Todoroki to use his fire, making him accept his situation. And Zuko did not like what he was being told to do. And Zuko says, hell no! I'll fight him without forcing him, but I will make him accept it, because it's his fire, his quirk, not yours, Endeavor. And that's the difference between him and you. And Endeavor got annoyed, but stepped on what he said. Then Suki goes towards the ring, and Suki says, alright, taking a deep breath and saying, he has the ability of using two elements. But he's focusing on his ice. Break the darkness out of the situation. Right. Suku, flashing back. I will destroy every situation and holding the darkness that bows within. I am gonna be the shining moon for you. And Suku then walks towards the ring, seeing Todoroki. And Todoroki looks at Suku. Then Midnight says, "Alright, you guys, now go fight!" And then Joe immediately goes to use his ice. And Suku, whoa! And Suku then runs all fours on his at full speed, making a soft sonic boom. And Todoroki says, "Figured you're faster than my ice, so I have to get quicker." Suki and Todoroki were keeping their own range. Suki tries to get up close, but Todoroki keeps giving him more distance with his ice. Suki's getting annoyed with all of Shoto's range distance. And then they have a soft stop for a moment. Suki then says, "Man, you really do have that BS RPG bullshit down." And Shoto says, "What do you mean by that?" And Suki says, "Basically you're a camper, frickin' jerk. Or you're taking advantage on your long range." And Shoto says, I guess you're not wrong in that. And Suki says, "Man, you're clueless. Isolated much. Whatever. I'll make sure to make you accept your situation." And Shoto says, "What do you mean?" And then Suki just says this, "Shoto, I know that you're angry with your dad. I can understand it. I do not want to force you to use your fire, but I'm willing to make you accept it." "Accept what? That I'm my father's tool, his quirk?" And Suki then says, "No!" waving his hand and saying, "Not like that." Suki then says this, "I'm making you accept that it's your quirk, not his thinking. If I was gonna be taking you serious, I would have gotten up close right now with my speed. I only hold back a lot." And then Shoto says, "You're not wrong. I can't." And Suki says, "Can't schmand! It's your quirk, not his. If words can't do it, then I'll beat it out of you." And Suki then goes to use his fist and smashing the ground. And Shoto then says, "Alright," and using his ice to defeat him. But Suki then says, "Heads up!" grabbing the steam's pieces and throwing them with his stretchy arms and destroying pieces of the glacier with super high speed strength throws. Shoto dodges on this, and Suki says, "Your speed is pretty fast, but I'm faster." Throwing more at him. Shoto thinks, giving me a hard time, not letting my ice go through. Then Suki then sees way, and Suki then throws the piece of the stain at Shoto at a far right when he was sliding his ice. And Shoto says, "Won't let you." And Shoto jumps. But when Shoto does that, Suki then stretches his arm. And Shoto says, "What?" And Suki says, "Now you're in my range." And then pulls him back with his right arm. And then Shoto thinks, he's gonna throw me. No, can't let him. He tries to use his ice side, but Suki then moves his arm to the swaying it back and forth, trying to not let Shoto touch him. And Shoto thinks, Suki says, "Come on, Shoto," thinks to himself, "don't let your own stubborn side turn against your own self. It's your work, not your dad. Then Shoto says, fine, I thank you, Suku, Doria. And Suki says, what? Then fire comes out of his other side, and Suki, let's go! Ooh. Blowing on his hand, and Suki says, well, you finally got a burn on me. Suki laughs with pain of it, and Shoto says, sorry about that. I don't want to lose. And Suki says, same here. Don't hold back. I won't. And Suki thinks, we're gonna hold back a bit, but not to the point that I'll kill him. Okay, one for all. Full count. 5%. And Suki finally used one for all bit, increasing his strength and speed. And Shoto says, alright, let's do this, Suku. And Suki says, alright, bring it on! Suki then rushes towards Shoto, running at high speeds on 2, and then Shoto uses his flame and ice together, and Suki says, at this moment, we're not doing it out of reason. We just want to because we want to do it for fun. And Suki stretches his arm, increasing the strength by using extra reach to hit Shoto. Shoto uses his flame and ice to finish Suku. Both are going to collide to each other. And then Midnight and all the other teachers saw that and tried to stop them. But then the collision came. A huge explosion goes out. And all the heroes and teachers were blown back by the explosion. All the cement pillars that the teacher was making were destroyed in an instant. Then they see Shoto knocked out in the ice that he made. And Zekia was on the ground. And both teachers were looking at the students. And Zekia says, ow, that hurts. And Zekia pushes himself back up, trying to stand. But Shoto then stands back up. And Zekia says, wow, you really are strong, aren't you, Shoto? Ow! That hurts! Ow! And Shoto says, well, not as strong as you. And Shoto then falls down. And Zuki catches him. Well, looks like my curse of never backing down is still going. And then President Mike says, Zuko Midoriya wins! What a exciting match, everyone! And Zuko carries Shoto to the medical bay and saying, man, never thought that would hurt. Suki laughs and Shoto says, you're surprisingly loud when you're injured. And Zuki says, what? I'm filled with positivity. It was a great match. Suki laughs and Shoto smirks and says, then they see Endeavor. And Suki says, you can tell him. I don't want to, because I'm already angry enough with him already. And Shoto says, and Endeavor says, hi, you finally used your fire. That's good. And then Shoto says, sorry, I didn't use it to impress you. I just forgot about you. You were there. And Endeavor heard that. And Suki says, sorry, pal, but we need to get going. And Suki takes Shoto and himself to the medical and get treated. And then Endeavor was mad. And Suki says, ow, ow, ow. I think I felt pins and needle out of numb. Shadow says, isn't that more out of sleep whenever your foot goes to? And Suki says, not always, but ow. And Shadow says, but I hope you win this, Suki. And Suki says, don't worry, a promise is a promise. I uphold it. Giving Shadow a fist bump. And then that's where I'm ending this video. I hope you liked this video and I hope you subscribe. See you next time, Plus Ultra.